Right in time for the train to start going by.
Oh, perfect. I timed it perfectly.
Yeah, well, what's a midnight screening without the train in the background?
It'll come back by. Hi, guys! It's me, Dave.
I know, this hasn't happened in so fucking long.
I can't even remember the last video where it was me and you together.
It's been a while. It's been a good long while. Because Brad, and rightfully so, pretty much realized that he gets more hits when he's in all the videos. So
I don't even watch the ones I'm in, just him.
Yeah, it's and everyone's, as we've gotten older and we have responsibilities, everybody's availability is a little less. So it makes more sense for him to do it. But it's fuck that guy. I'm happy to be in the movie with Brian.
Yay! As we are the site's 2 senior black correspondents at this point, I've seen so many movies with Regina Hall in it. It is insane to me.
Same here.
Which is not a bad thing.
No.
I really like Regina Hall. But I have seen so many of her movies now. And oddly enough, this is, I think, the second because I think Barbershop came out before When the Bow Breaks. But yeah, if When the Bow Breaks is the most recent one of hers that I've seen, this is 2 movies in a row now where she is infertile. Like, is this like a running trope with her now?
It might be. It's well, to start, Brett will put it on the queue, but we went and saw, what was it, Girls Trip?
Girls Trip.
Yeah. Which was a movie?
It was several things.
It was a lot of movies. Sorry, guys. It's just fucking hot in here. We get parking lot.
Summertime.
Yeah, it's too hot in the fucking car.
But yeah, it was a few different kinds of movies. It was best friends getting back together. It's
relationship drama.
Yeah, it seems like it's, and I don't say this in a bad way, but it seems like whenever there's one of these kind of like black ensemble films, there's always like a really huge like moral dilemma aspect of it. And I say that to the degree of like
no, I
like
agree. It's a problem with these movies.
With like, okay, you've got something like the Hangover movies. Not really a whole lot of like high stakes to those.
No.
Even like a kind of like mixed ensemble like The Wedding Ringer. It had some stuff going on, but nothing like super bad. Even going all the way back to stuff like The Bachelor. Like, a lot of stuff going on, but I mean, the stakes admittedly are kept funny and, pretty minimal in the long term. But then like you have stuff like this, or what was it, Best Friend Holiday or whatever.
Best Man Holiday.
Best Man Holiday.
I'd still watch that shit again. Just for Terrence Howard.
You've got movies like this where it's like it's friends getting back together, but there's always something terrible. Like oh, we're reconnecting after all these years. I mean, you're still kind of a bitch though, but oh, and by the way, I have terminal cancer. It's like, oh man, we're best friends and it's everything. By the way, my spouse is definitely cheating on me, and I don't know what to do about it. So I'm just gonna pretend like it's not happening.
Also, I'm infertile. Which we're just gonna throw that out at like the hour 20 mark.
Yeah,
like,
it's because we needed one more plot line to carry us through. And it seems like there are like high stakes, and it makes for like these really like melodramatic moments, because with the slapstick nature of like the first half of these films, it doesn't feel. I don't feel like it's earned me being in that sort of like emotional spot. And maybe that's I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's a.
No, it's not you. It's shitty filmmaking.
Because
it's what it is. It's shitty filmmaking.
Because it's just a sudden thing. Honestly, like I felt the same way towards like the big twist in the first act of Book of Henry when Henry dies. Spoiler.
I haven't seen it yet, you asshole.
Were you gonna?
No.
Yeah, the twist is the title character dies of a sudden brain tumor.
Yeah.
That's when the revenge plot kicks in. That movie's a mess. This movie, by comparison, is perfectly fine compared to that monstrosity. But it was the same way with that. Like, it starts tugging at all these fucking heartstrings. But you've done nothing to earn that. It'd be like if you were watching The Hangover and then suddenly in the second part of the second act, it's like you find out that Ed Helms has like colon cancer and he really like this is his last go around, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Dark.
Well, and that's the problem with movies like this.
And then he gets the face tattoo.
It's the problem with movies like this, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something that the audience that because I don't want to sound racist, but this
I'll fully admit,
somewhere in here it's going to end up sounding racist, and it's going to be unintentional.
We were not the target audience.
We are so not the audience. So I have to wonder if that is something that is expected and desired by the target audience. But in reality, it's shitty filmmaking. And this movie in particular, it's really fucking apparent because by no means is this a good movie. It's a movie that has too many voices and too much shit going on. And if you streamlined the movie, it still wouldn't be good. But at least, like, when this movie goes for laughs, it honestly kind of delivers.
Yeah.
In a way that, like, here's where I start sounding a little racist. If it was 4 white girls, wouldn't fucking work for me.
So Rough Night?
Yeah. No, but does that make sense? Like,
No, it does, because it's the sort of thing that for this being like a black comedy, you can, and not, you know, not like Very Bad Things as a black comedy, but, you know, fuck it, you know what I mean. It works having all 4 main characters being like type A over-the-top personalities.
No, and that's
because you couldn't have that dynamic, I don't think, honestly, with a white film. It would be fucking obnoxious. Like, if you were watching The Hangover and every single character was Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, it'd be awful.
I would have walked out of the fucking first one, let alone see 2 more of them in theater.
And that's the thing they do in this movie is they're like, oh yeah, we're all 4 very different people. We all 4 very distinct personalities and voices.
But
when things
all
really
4 the same person.
But that's it. When things picked up, they're all 4 the same person, and that's the best moments in the movie.
But
when
yeah,
you have these 4
when they're working,
crazy ass women talking over each other,
just
screaming and doing horrible things.
Solid unit of just fucking crazy. It honestly, it's poetry in motion. Because like I said, when it decides that it just wants to be a funny screwball comedy, those were the highlights for me. Like,
and honestly,
in something
I
like,
was sitting there hoping for a whole movie of that, which I've never watched a movie before and went, man, I wish there was more piss jokes.
Exactly. And there are. Wow. And I've seen movies with piss jokes before.
This takes the cake for piss jokes.
Suck on that, Million Ways to Die in the West. But yeah, it's like this one here, like the screwball, like, sophomore comedy. Those were the highlights to me, and not in like a sarcastic way of like. No,
they were. I was like, honestly like belly laughing at some scenes, like,
because
I don't even know the name of the actress, but the one who's this kind of super ghetto one was fucking hilarious.
Out of all of the girls,
her delivery was amazing.
The comic relief friend, and I've seen her in a couple other things. She was the kind of like the lead, like, female gang member in Keanu.
Okay.
High C. I've seen her in a couple other things, I think, but no, like, she's got fucking amazing timing. Like, I would like to see her in more stuff.
Yeah.
Not to say that, like, because it's one of those things is like every one of these, there are so many black actors and actresses, but it seems like every one of these movies, and Regina Hall.
Yeah.
But fuck, Morris Chestnut was in this, and he's not actually even in the movie. He's in the movie as Morris Chestnut walking by. Somehow still has Morris Chestnut in it.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Well, yeah, when Mike Coulter walked out, I was like, oh, well, it's not Morris Chestnut. But at the same time...
It's like, oh man, Morris Chestnut's been replaced, but he's still there.
Yeah.
Like, he's still absolutely in this movie.
And Mike Coulter was basically playing a Morris Chestnut character. Only
dapper as shit, wearing like a fucking 10-piece suit at all times, just looking fucking suave, man.
Yeah, and I have to break...
damn.
Suave except for one thing, which kept distracting me. It's that Mike Coulter's neck is so fucking big, they could not find a shirt collar that would fucking fit him. So his shirt collars are always slightly fucked up because his neck's too fucking big.
They just don't make suits for his size. He's a gigantic dude, but man, he is like fucking just dapper as shit in every fucking scene he's in. And I mean, I fucking love him, man. Like,
oh, he's great, yeah.
I think Letty would have come if she would have known that he was in this one.
And he was the only person in the movie playing the whole thing straight.
He was in like a moral drama.
Yeah.
And they made like a dick joke movie around him. I mean, because there are so many scenes that like there's a couple scenes that you kind of get a taste of in the trailer, like the friend the comic relief friend is joking about like the booty hole and having drugs up in her booty hole.
No,
you kind of get a
moth.
Jesus,
great.
You kind of get a
Sarah's
taste.
Gonna be super happy that there's a moth in her car.
No, just trap him in here. We'll surprise her when she goes to work next.
She'll kill us.
But no, like there's a taste of that in the trailer, and it is so much better. Like, even knowing that line is in there, it still worked in the film because
I
the
went in
delivery
this completely blank, other
great.
than like the poster.
And it implies the piss joke in the trailer, but the actual execution of it is, my God, like they went full fucking out. It was this movie, like at times it feels like it's pulling its punches, but then when it doesn't, it's fucking insane. Like they're like
the piss joke to me, it was a little drawn out and a little too like they went big, which you could have done the same
we're
setup.
Talking like super soaker gallons of piss.
Yeah, like there was too much piss. The joke still landed somehow, but yeah, the best dick joke was the blowjob joke.
Which one?
You know which one.
There were so many. Oh yeah, no, we're.
Some fucking.
This is a thing, I don't know if you were aware of it, but this was a thing I was aware of before this. The whole grapefruiting thing. Do yourself a favor, look it up. There's a lady that gives instructional videos online. It is hilarious.
Well, Brian.
No, I don't remember how in the hell Letty came across this, if it was one of her sisters or one of the girls over at the school or something tipped her off on this. But she was showing me, she was fucking dying. She's like, you gotta check this chick out. And she just goes for it. And basically they reenact the entire thing there to explain how this works, which is just fucking insane, and I loved every second of it.
Oh, it was honestly like, it was, even in this movie where they had done some shit already that was like pretty raunchy, it was shocking. It was so raunchy.
It was like a continuous like minute and a half long scene of her just deep throating the shit out of this banana, and not like no, like she's fucking like Jesus Christ, she was fucking going for it
and pausing to give instruction.
Yeah.
Which the timing was dead on those scenes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing about this movie. This movie was not good. Brian and I have been talking about good things in this movie for 5 minutes
Yeah,
or so. This movie was not good. It had highlights that were outstanding.
But yeah, and it's one of those things
everything else was god fucking awful.
If you can stick to the highlights, though, like I think that it's a conflicting thing for me, because like when it's funny, it's good, and when it's not telling dick jokes, it just immediately falls flat.
Yeah, but then the other thing,
even when it's doing full frontal dick jokes,
which both times they did that were pretty outstanding too.
Just kept throwing back to that dude's dick up against the window. Just fucking going to town on that.
And I think the other
cameraman
thing too is
loved him.
The cameraman loved him. We were in
weird old balls.
Fucking packed theater for this shit, and the audience loved him.
We were in like the fucking.
We had to sit in the second row.
Yeah, we were in like the pit seats down at the front, and we got here. I mean, not exactly late, but not exactly early. Like,
yeah,
and that was the best we could do.
But yeah, and that's the thing. It's like part of me wants to be like, let's do the dick jokes for the rest of the movie, but I know after a half hour we get bored. They were paced out really well. It's just that everything they were paced out with was so melodramatic TV movie shitty, with like the music cues.
Well, in a lot of the film is, because it's one of those movies that, Jesus Christ, it's one of those movies where it takes place at an actual event, and I feel like it was done intentionally so that, like, cost-saving measures,
and then they could just be like, these people are performing anyway if we filmed them.
But yeah, it's like, so yeah, this movie, like, there's entire like 10-15 minute sections where you're just watching, like, you know, fucking Diddy doing a set, or Belle Biv DeVoe, or fucking
New Edition
did like an entire song.
Yeah.
It does that several times. Like half of the credit roll on this one was just like mentioning like you know, this
artist,
person as themselves, this person as themselves, and then they just, if they weren't running into another established black actor as themselves, like with, you know, like a lot of like the, you know, just random insert cameos, then they were running into others just as like random bit characters. Like Mike Epps is in this for like a minute for just like a throwaway scene
of selling to set up a scene where they're tripping on absinthe, which that's one of those things. Like, I get that that's they do that in movies and on TV and shit. Like, you and I have both drank enough absinthe. It doesn't fucking do that.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was saying it was like, oh, it's like a 200-year-old bottle made with like wormwood and everything.
No, it's fucking not.
It's like, I'm not buying that.
This bottle will last you 5 years. No. That bottle's like 4 drinks, man.
And I'm sorry, like, no one noticed anything weird about that. Like, that is a distinct flavor. If she would have poured that in something, you would have like, oh, wow, this is, when you put orange juice in this too, like,
Well, if they were supposed to be drinking Hurricanes, if it was a zombie, it would have a little bit of that flavor anyway, because you're beside the point.
Each one had like
a lot in it, yeah.
It's like, and 5 fingers worth in each cup.
Which, you know, for a tripping ball scene in a movie, it was pretty decent. It's just...
It was effective.
It was effective. It's just in my brain, I'm sitting there going, because this is my brain and I'm that asshole, absinthe doesn't do that.
Yeah,
I feel liquid LSD or something. A couple drops, you get the same fucking joke.
I feel like the joke would have been more solid. Cause yeah, it's like that every movie where they're like, oh, and then absinthe. I'm like, okay, but yeah, I think it would have been more effective if it's like, and that the comic relief friend, I would completely have buyed, like, you know, like it's like actually spike it with something like oh, she got a hold of like some kind of fucking party drug where there was like, you know, like, oh, just boop, a little bit of coke in there, give her a little bump.
Yeah.
like fucking so like at this point, like we've seen dicks rubbing against windows, we've seen fucking fruit blowjobs, we've seen all kinds of shit, giant piss gags. Like at this point, if they decided to do a fucking bump of cocaine, I'm not gonna be like, oh, they would never.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like I would totally buy it, and especially like.
Cocaine don't make you see shit either.
Like, well, I'm just saying, like whatever the fuck, like, like some kind of fucking shit. Like, yeah, like just a little boop, 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 little fucking LSD in there, good. That's fucking good. Like, just fucking something going on. I would be more okay with than, oh, it's just a really hard liquor. And then we'll be fine until, like, at least a half hour. Like, New Orleans is not an easy place to drive around in.
No, yeah, there's a lot of...
Like, they would have had to have been sitting on that alcohol for, like, a fucking 45 minutes to an hour to get from wherever the fuck they were to wherever the fuck they were going. Because I'm sorry, like, I love New Orleans. I've been there a few times, but the traffic is fucking insane.
Well, it's not a town meant for driving. At least in the parts of town where people are partying, you know?
Yeah, so I like, that just bugged me, like... the way that whole scene went. But like if it had been like a harder like party drug or something like that, and then like have like the comic relief friend throw out like a fucking Training Day joke.
Yeah.
Boom, done. I'm fucking sold on this.
Yeah. It's just it's one of those things that I think for a lot of people that,
because they were making some weird obscure references at points. Like, they were making references that I would not have expected in a movie like this. So, yeah, like, get them fucking, get them fucked up, slip in, like, a Training Day joke, boom.
Yeah.
I would have been so fucking content with that. Not, like, oh, it's absinthe, shit'll get you fucked.
Well, and it's one of those things that I think, a vast majority of the audience probably has no experience with absinthe other than what they've seen on TV and in movies.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm sure for everyone else in the theater,
Most
the
bars
fucking joke landed. Well, it was illegal here for so long.
Well, yeah. But even at that, like, most bars here in town probably don't even have it.
No, yeah. Well, and it's not something people order a lot of, you know? And there's shit that's easier to get and cheaper that tastes just like it. So who fucking cares?
No one's drinking that for the taste.
No, exactly.
It's like somebody saying like, it's like, oh yeah, I only drink drinks with Jaeger in it because I love the smooth finish.
My favorite beverage is Malort. It's a sipping drink.
Says Chicago Dave.
Listen, I lived in Chicago a long time. I bartended in Chicago a long time. When I was in Chicago, at least when I bartended a lot in Chicago, Malort was what you gave to drunk assholes that were like, just give me a shot. Because it was, fuck you, here you go, drink this nasty shit. And somewhere along the lines, like, it got this weird popularity thing. That shit's nasty.
We're looking at you, hipsters.
Yeah, that shit's gross. Like, I'm sorry, that shit is gross. PBR is not a good beer. Like, there's...
It's cheap, though.
Yeah, you know what else is cheap? Stag, Hams, Miller High Life.
I like High Life. I like Stag. But if all they got's fucking Blue Ribbon, hey. Like, I'm down.
Yeah, no.
I learned beer on shitty beer drinking with like Sam and Alex. Like, I'm okay with drinking shitty beer. It's like, honestly, it's like good beers that I don't like. Like, I've tried so many different kinds of like Sam Adams. Can't do it.
Sam Adams is middling at best.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm talking beers that aren't like, it's like $3 and I'll bring you a pitcher's worth. Sure.
Yeah. You fucking Springfield people and your shandies and shit.
Not like a shandy.
Yeah.
I like my beer with fruit.
Oh. Alright, back to this piece of shit movie.
The big overall thing with the plot for this one is 4 friends. They imply that like they make it sound like they have not seen each other in a decade, but the beginning of the movie is a credit roll showing that basically they get together like once every year or every couple of years to hang
they mentioned
out,
it. They
do
had,
like a big
they hadn't
party.
seen each other in 5 years as a group.
And yeah, there was a bit of a fight 5 years ago, and they haven't all hung out together since then. But it seems like they've all been in fairly much direct contact with each other in the interim.
Yeah.
So it's like, so that's your problem, is like that's why we got to get the gang back together, is because you guys still like talk and fucking message each other, and you know, it's like, oh, I saw your shit on Facebook, haha, it's funny, like, but like, oh, but you haven't had a chance to actually like hang out, like this seems like a pretty like small problem to overcome, but okay, because as soon as they're like, it's like, ooh, here's a chance for a girls trip, and then immediately they're all like, hey, and hanging out like it's like not a minute has passed.
Well, and yeah, it's that's you know what they use to get the ball rolling, and fine, whatever, fuck it, who gives a shit?
Yeah, you needed a reason to get 4 people in the same room. There you go.
Yeah, it's not important.
But it seemed overly complicated the way they set it up. It's like, just say it's like your annual trip and get them all back together.
Well, and they're all meeting in the same fucking airport, so they all live in the same town, which to me sounds like 5 years like without hanging out with my friends as a group seems drastic. I mean, in that 5 years, didn't somebody fucking die? I mean, I can't go through my life for 5 years without somebody fucking dying. How the fuck can they?
It's like apparently they all live in the same town, but none of their other mutual friends do.
Yeah.
And 2 of their friends are legitimate, like, celebrities.
Well, the little guy's not necessarily a celebrity.
Well, no, I mean, like, of the 4 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one is, like, a stay-at-home mom. The other, we know nothing about her other than she's funny.
Yeah.
No clue what she does, but she also seems to be independently wealthy. She bought, like, Patron shots for everybody on the plane.
Yeah.
Which, not cheap in a bar on the ground, certainly more expensive in the air. And then, Queen Latifah is basically
Perez Hilton.
Yeah.
But unsuccessful.
But much more tolerable.
Yeah, but also, like, one of the plot points in the movie is that she's going broke. And it's like,
yeah, she's a gossip columnist that can't seem to land any good gossip.
Well, she runs a website and her advertisers are calling her, and it's like, you know, I hang out with a lot of people that have websites. Not really how it works too often.
I can't remember the last time I've talked to Brad and he was like, oh man, the guy who runs the banner ad on my page was called and was furious there's not enough traffic. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's different when you're an upscale gossip blog.
But also living in, like, a gigantic loft apartment that's got to cost, like, in a major city that's like a $4,000 a month apartment. It's like, if you're going broke, fucking move.
Yeah, maybe just stop keeping up appearances.
Yeah.
Live within your means, woman. You work on the internet. It doesn't fucking matter where you live. But, and then, the main friend, Regina Hall, who's, they describe her several times as the second coming of Oprah. Which is weird because Oprah's still here. It's not like she left.
Well, and Oprah had a TV show and shit. She didn't just write a self-help book. You know? Yeah,
they established that she is famous and popular, but aside from the book that she just wrote, I don't know what she was famous and popular for before that. Because it seems like she has been slowly amassing her wealth and popularity.
Yeah, it sounds like she just broke. But she's super famous and is the keynote speaker at the, like, Absinthe Festival, which I didn't know that was a thing, but I kind of want to go be a fly on the wall at that. Just be like the white guy.
Well, and basically, for how they set up Mike Coulter's character, he's essentially more handsome Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
You know, like he's... Like, if they had said, like, oh, he just got done with his stint with Kelly Ripa, I'd be like, that seems plausible with how they're setting him up in this.
Yeah, like, former NFL player.
Yeah.
but, you know, a douchebag on the side who's fucking an Instagram model, which I might be old, but is that a fucking thing? Do people make their livings being Instagram models?
Yes.
Fuck, I'm old.
Well,
considering one of our best friends makes his living doing this fucking garbage. Hi, Brad.
But, yeah, no, it is 100% a thing, and it makes me super depressed that a fucking 18-year-old with a camera and yoga pants is making more money than I have managed to, work my way up to at this point in my life.
Listen, I have a plan. We get a camera.
Some
get some yoga
pants.
pants. And me and you will be Instagram models. I bet if nothing else for the ridiculous factor of it, we'd get some followers. What do you guys think?
Send all suggestions for names for the account to @MaxFNForce
No,
on Twitter.
No, send them to Brad.
You guys know Brad's.
Just send them to Brad. You'll pass them on.
Dude got some good ones.
You know there's going to be some really interesting photoshops in the next couple days.
I'm okay with that.
Me too. Me too.
But, yeah, so he's a douchebag, fucking an Instagram model, who, honestly, being completely fair, did not see anything special about that girl. Like, everybody kept,
I didn't find her fucking attractive at all.
Everybody kept making it out like, oh, man, she is like the, like, no, I don't see it.
No, yeah, it was, and I'll be honest, back in the day, I had a thing for black chicks. She was not attractive.
The way you phrase that sounds so weird.
Doesn't it, though? Listen, I don't want to say it was a phase, but it was definitely a period of time in my life.
I'm just picturing you wearing a shirt that says, "For black girls only."
I used to have a shirt that said, "I like my girls like I like my coffee."
With a spoon in them. Borrowed that one from Eddie Izzard. Don't give me any credit.
Oh, shit. Anyway, like, I love things about doing these videos. I say something stupid and then Sarah will see it, and then I'll realize that, like, Sarah's mom watches these videos sometimes.
Ideally.
Mostly just the stuff with Sarah in it, but occasionally she'll, like, watch other ones. It's always funny when it gets brought up. Because Julie doesn't give a shit. She's awesome, but it's still always kind of like that moment of like, oh yeah, you know about my drug days now, huh? Alright.
I could see it just in the middle of like Thanksgiving dinner and be like, oh, I meant to ask you. So, tell me about your black chicks phase. It's like, well, about that. Well, I'm sitting next to my wife and child. But yeah, so he's fucking around. The world's most handsome fuckboy in this movie. And they have like a tense like marriage of convenience thing going on where Regina Hall and him are just together to make fucking insane money.
Yeah,
and that's about it. Like,
yeah.
Like the spark is gone. Like she still like gets hurt by the fact that he's doing it, but
she's aware.
And apparently the cooling salve of millions of dollars being thrown at her is kind of enough to gulp that hard pill down and move on with her day.
And until she has this weekend with her friends, and they help her be strong. And which, you know,
with the help of Black Aziz Ansari. I'm sorry, that dude just looked so much like a fucking Aziz Ansari.
What is that dude's name?
I don't know.
He's been in so much shit. That's the other thing. Like that, I know that guy from other things. I'm just trying to.
And I don't know if it's just because they kept standing him next to Queen Latifah, but he looked like he was like 5
No,
feet
he was
either.
tiny. He was tiny. He was tiny because Jada Pinkett. He was about the same size as Jada Pinkett Smith, and she's like this fucking.
True,
big.
yeah, she is a small gal.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's the plot, and you know that as drawn out as it leads to some of those good joke moments, but it becomes such this big dramatic like the camera's gonna zoom in slowly and the music, like the emotional music cues in, and it's like that's so TV movie bullshit. Like keep that storyline in, but like fucking cut it down, you
Yeah,
know? And like
just
he just gets to
tool it a little
fucking
bit.
walk away at the end. Fuck that. Like make him be a fucking villain, you know? Like that's one thing besides this Instagram model thing who is the villain. Like, listen, she's obviously not a good person, but she was a really shitty villain. Like that girl's going through her own shit.
See, I was like, honestly, they should feel bad for her. They beat up a pregnant woman in a bar fight.
Well, they didn't know she was pregnant yet.
Well, true. But I have a feeling that she did. She knew.
Yeah. She got the shit kicked out of her.
But I like that Jada Pinkett in this, like, she had some fun. Like, I haven't seen all of Gotham so far. It's
Because the show's fucking awful.
it's like
It's
it'll
awful.
have like ooh, this is an interesting thing, and it's like, oh, and this is a boring episode.
But every time she shows up, it's a little entertaining because she doesn't give a shit. She just hams it the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I like her as Fish Mooney, but like this was like going back to fucking like once she actually like loosens up in this one, like she goes all the way back to like low down dirty shame.
Yeah.
Fucking Peaches. Like she went all the way back, like she's just getting fucking into it. I'm like, I liked that. I love seeing her like actually like in a role where she can feel like she can actually like do something.
Yeah.
Like get a little crazy with it, and it's not like it's like, oh no, you just gotta kind of sit here and brood.
Yeah, it is. I feel like we've already been talking about this movie for like 3 hours.
No, that's just because the movie felt like it was 3 hours.
It did. It's just it's one of those things. Like we said, it has highlights, but everything else is so low.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
All the other stuff in it I feel bored talking about the actual plot to the movie because
It's not important.
the actual plot maybe was like one full page of it. Like it's like they wrote the outline and they're like, is this the working script? And they're like, yeah.
It's like, well, put in some interpersonal drama with the 4 main characters, and it's like, you don't need that. Just let them be friends. Like, they don't
Yeah.
have to get in a huge fight. They don't have to, like, feel betrayed by each other or anything like that. Just be like, hey, we're back together as friends. Let's have fun.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I think it would have been, it would have done something for me if Mike Coulter would have actually been, like, kind of a douchebag villain. Like, he seems like a nice guy, and you find out that he's, like, fucking around, but they have, like, an agreement. But then it turns out that, like, he gets suddenly sinisterly dark in, like, the 3rd act or something. You know what? That would have done something for me. But in this,
I'm
like...
sorry, I have to check this. I've gotten, like, 18 text messages, and I have to make sure my child's not in the hospital or some shit.
Fair point.
Alright. Anyway,
Oh my god!
we'll just do it like this.
Ooh, spooky.
I haven't slept in like a week, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a little slap happy today.
I haven't slept since, like, this morning, so...
Yeah, fuck you,
I
dude.
totally get you.
Fuck you. Oh, yeah.
I've got a puppy in the house. She whines to go outside to poop every morning at 4 a.m. I don't understand. You don't know what that's like, though.
No, I don't have a puppy in my house. And a baby, you fuck.
Hey, you can change the baby inside. It's like you're gonna walk her outside and down the block. Like,
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do.
just change her on the yard.
The worst is at like 4:30 in the morning when the dog whines to go out and it wakes the baby up.
Oh no, double trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you get my ass with like a towel wrapped around my waist holding the baby and a leash. Because my dog, I love him, but he's a pain in the ass because if I just open the back door and let him out in the yard, he won't come back in. So if in the middle of the night, if I take him outside, I do have to leash him and take him out. Because he's a dick.
Stanley Good Boy, you're not living up to your name.
No, he's not. He's a fucking dick. I'm done talking about this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, final thoughts.
It's the high points are really high, but the rest of it's really crap. And so even the high points don't sell it for me as a movie. It's a bad movie.
Yeah, it's
a bad. It's one of those like find someone in 6 months on YouTube that puts up a highlight reel, and
I mean, I'd give it a solid. Well, not really a solid rental, but yeah, I'd say give it a rental once it, like, if it's on like Redbox or something, they're like, yeah, it's $1.
I wouldn't spend money on it unless I had already spent money. So, like, Netflix, I think would be acceptable.
Yeah, but if you work in one of those offices where it's like everybody is constantly making fucking like, oh, did you see this movie? And then they just do those jokes, like, yeah, maybe go
put your
watch
headphones in and ignore those fucking idiots.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Turn both my monitors towards the wall so I can't see anybody.
That's what I do when my coworkers talk too much.
It's like it's like, what's that? Like, oh, so what? Then they'll just go back to their desk and I am me, bastards.
Good point, baby.
Shut up. Eat your little kibble bits there. I don't know what they are. Those little baby crunchy morsels. Kibble bits.
That's what they're named now. Baby crunchy morsel kibble bits. That's what I'm calling them from now on.
That's what she would call them if she could talk already.
She would just call them food.
Yeah, I like mine better.
Yeah, I do too. Alright, I'm done. Good night.
Bye.